Our objective is to go to Kinshasa because we have a vision for the people of DRC. We are going to fight until we get to Kinshasa. We have come to Goma to stay. We are not going to withdraw, but we are going to move forward from Goma, Bukavu, Kisangani, Bunia, Lubumbashi, Kananga, Mbujimayi, up to Kinshasa, and then to start Congo development.
Greetings fam, greetings brothers and sisters. Today we go back to the Congo because things are still boiling and we cannot say nicely or badly because we have to understand what is happening. Remember, after the M23 took over Eastern Congo, specifically the city of Goma, which is very crucial and very important in this side of the Eastern Congo because Kinshasa, which is the capital city of DR Congo, is so far. It's even, Goma is closer to the capital of Uganda, Kampala, the capital of Kenya, Nairobi, and many other capitals compared to where it is in Congo. And that is the big reason that the people of Congo, especially in this area, feel left out. As they say, there are no roads, there are nothing. And another thing is the infiltration of the foreigners who come pay militants so that they can continue mining and exploiting this area, which according to what people say is very rich in minerals. So after the M23 took over Congo, a lot was revealed. And one thing that shocked a lot of people was that the people of Congo were celebrating. And in this video, you can see Congolese in Goma singing and celebrating the M23 spokesman, Lieutenant Colonel Willy Goma, as he walked through the streets of Congo. They love him. And you need to understand three very important people in this group of M23. We have Willy Goma, who is the spokesman. We have the president of M23, his name is Bertrand Bisimwa, and we have the former president of Congo Electoral Commission in 2018, his name is Colonel Nanga. Those are very crucial people in this group called M23. And apart from that, we also saw a lot whole of mercenaries, especially notably from Romania, who have been fighting alongside the FDLR, which stands for Forces Democratiques de Liberation de Rwanda, which is the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda. This is a rebel group, that is the FDLR, composed mainly of Hutu militants, including remnants of the former Rwandan armed forces and Interahamwe militia responsible for the 1984 Tutsi genocide, which killed over 1 million Rwandese people. And many of its members were perpetrators who fled to the DRC after the genocide. And you have to note that the US and the EU consider the FDLR a terrorist group. Together with them, they were fighting alongside the Democratic Republic of Congo military, which is the FARDC. In French, it's Force Armée de la République démocratique du Congo. Now, these two are fighting also together with the Southern Africa Development Community military, that is the SANDF. And do not forget, there were other militants in there, especially the Wazalendo, who were formerly called the Mai Mai. So we saw these guys who the Congo government has been denying. And sometimes last year, Kagame revealed that the Congo government has been using mercenaries, and he said that it's a wrong move to trust mercenaries. But the Congolese government refused. But with M23 taking over Goma, we saw them surrendering to M23 in laying of weapons. Then these guys went over to MONUSCO, which is the UN peacekeepers, and with the MONUSCO, this is where their countries, through the UN, facilitated the deportation through Rwanda, where even Reuters, the newspaper, said Congo's defeated foreign mercenaries head home with big relief. And it is big relief because we saw a video of one of them saying they are very happy that they are leaving. I wonder why. I thought they were making a good kill out there. So, and a lot of people are asking, if Rwanda is not involved, why were they taken to Rwanda? And this is where we come in and tell you that because Rwanda was the closest, Kigali is the closest airport that they could have gone. They could not have flown to or driven to Kinshasa. Kinshasa is on the other side of Africa, like West Africa. It's far. It's closer traveling from Goma to the capital of Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, which is Nairobi, rather than going to Kinshasa. Moving from Goma to Kinshasa is almost the same distance from Goma to Mogadishu, which is the capital city of Somalia. It's very far. So the UN could not use that side because these guys were using passes and they had to be brought to Kigali. In this video, we see Colonel Willy Goma talking to these Romanian mercenaries or European mercenaries, telling them, don't joke with M23, my bro. We are fire. And at some point, we even saw him telling them that Africa is for Africans and they should not think of coming back. You know, it was something even the international media was taking time not to report about it. Then, a big secret was later revealed by Ian Wafula on Twitter, who said that I've spent months investigating the foreign mercenaries in DR Congo. I met some of them in Romania and Goma. One Romanian mercenary's salary equaled that of 50 Congolese soldiers. The government says they are just instructors, but this is not entirely true. And he quotes BBC because apparently he works for BBC, and he continues and saying, a contract of a senior level Romanian, I revealed, specified a starting salary of $5,000 per month in dollars during active duty and $3,000 during period of leave indefinitely unless terminated. The soldiers were taking a 1-month break after every 3 months of deployment. Wow. And this is it. And shockingly, it includes Congo, Burkina Faso, Niger, Guinea, Senegal, etc. That's where they work. These are their contracts with the company they work for. And the service contract is here. They work 3 months, there is free time, 1 month, they rest. You know, so that is what has been happening. And it's a whole lot of things. Then he continues and saying to the Congolese soldiers, this was demoralizing. One said on anonymity, the pay is unfair. When it comes to fighting, we are the ones sent to the front lines first. He revealed that his small pay of $100 a month was often delayed or unpaid altogether. Imagine these guys are paid $100 a month when the mercenaries, who apparently they say they are training them and all that, they are paid $5,000. That's 50 times. And a UN group of experts report detailed to private military companies that signed contracts with Congo's government in 2022 to bolster its forces against the rebels. Number one, we have Ajamira RDC, which employed Bulgarian, Belarusian, Georgian, Algerian, French, and Congolese nationals. Then we have number two, Congo Protection, Congolese company represented by Thierry Congolo, and Association RAF, a Romanian enterprise with ex-Romanian from the French Foreign Legion, headed by Rashu Hotra. And he posted details, and he says, and Thierry Congolo is a Congolese. And it appears that the Romanian instructors from Association RAF went beyond training the Congolese just as they had agreed with the Congo government. One senior commander I just met outside Bucharest told me that they were guiding key positions outside Goma in 12-hour shifts. In fact, some Romanians died on the front line in February 2024. Vasile Badia was one of the 2 Romanians who were killed when Congolese convoy was ambushed by the M23 on its way to Sake, a frontline town near Goma, where he says I spoke to his family and they allowed me to visit his grave, and he shows it. That is him visiting the grave, and Vasile's family said he was a police officer in Romania before taking a sabbatical to work as an instructor for the Congolese army. He was struggling to pay for an apartment he just acquired and needed more money. That is it. And when I asked for Potra, the head of Association RAF, whether his soldiers had been engaged in combat against rebels, he responded, "We have to protect ourselves. If M23 attacks us, they won't simply say, oh, they're just instructors, go home." Then he says he had since cut communication. And Rwanda, the spokesman, Yolande Makolo, has repeatedly accused Congo of hiring mercenaries and violating Geneva Conventions, and he posts these guys, the mercenaries being taken by the buses to Rwanda. And Congo spokesman Yamuya told me in June 2024 that they have been propagating lies for years, saying that we have some instructors who come to train our military forces because we know we have this urgent situation. Meanwhile, the UN defines a mercenary as someone who is recruited to fight in a conflict for personal gain. The UN also considered the use of mercenaries to violate human rights, the right to self-determination. You see, Congo has always been refusing, but it's open, we know, and they are here. They have been, revealed. Then you remember the chairman of the AAC, who is the Kenyan President William Ruto, had called for an emergency AAC meeting on Congo, which Tshisekedi, the president of Congo, snapped and said that he will respond and reclaim Goma from M23. And this is what he said. Everybody was there except him. This is him speaking.
Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi vowed on Wednesday to mount a response to reclaim territory seized by M23 rebels who captured the eastern city of Goma earlier this week.
Rwanda.
In a televised address, Tshisekedi accused Rwanda of backing the M23 insurgency, which he described as a, quote, terrorist enterprise. The president said he had convened emergency meetings with government and military officials to assess the situation and plan countermeasures. Earlier on Wednesday, nearly 300 foreign mercenaries hired by the Democratic Republic of Congo government had surrendered to the rebel group. They were hired to bolster Congo's underpaid and disorganized army, but with limited coordination made the conflict worse, according to a group which maps unrest in eastern Congo. After being cornered alongside remnants of Congo's army and its allied militias, they handed themselves over to United Nations peacekeeping troops for transit home through Rwanda. Before crossing the border, one mercenary was scolded by an M23 spokesperson in front of journalists.
As this was going on, we saw the M23 leadership consisting of the president, Bertrand Bisimwa, the spokesman, that is Willy Ngoma, and the renowned leader, Colonel Nangaa, who was also the president of Congo Electoral Commission in 2018, holding a conference in Goma where they talked about a number of things, including the communications that had been cut, internet, water, and electricity, and which they said that they announced that water and electricity would be restored in Goma within 48 hours after being cut by Tshisekedi administration. And they made this declaration on Thursday during the first press conference since seizing control of the city. And this was amazing because after some time, people say that the internet was back, and they said everything will be okay. After the presser, Colonel Nangaa had an interview with the New Times of Rwanda and vowed to take over the whole of DRC. This is him speaking.
Well, the main important message is I say that we are in Goma. Being in Goma today is the result of struggle. And our struggle is indeed as a reason. We are people determined and engaged to move forward. And they say we are in Goma, we find a lot of emergency problems, like water, lack of water, electricity, communication, they cut everything. But also we found a situation when it is like when we reach after the war. It means you have whatever is not needed to be seen. And this emergency we are dealing with now, and we have started stabilizing the situation. Our struggle as an objective. Our objective is to go to Kinshasa because we have a vision for the people of DRC. Looking at the way that the insecurity has eastern part of Congo, we have to sort it out. And what is the reason of the insecurity? The first reason is the failure of states in DRC. It's a failure of state that is putting all the people to come in DRC, the negative forces like ADF, like the FDLR, and they are now a threat against our neighbors, but also a threat against our population. I also mentioned that the bad governance of the Kinshasa regime, putting opposition party either in jail or exile, even killing some of them. Today, I say we have about 100 political leaders, personality in exile, just because the regime Tshisekedi has installed a kind of dictatorship that we have to take it away. Indeed, I also mentioned the fact that the division of people, tribalism, and the fact that Tshisekedi has hired a lot of mercenaries, European mercenaries, a lot of using the FDLR people and training them with the FARDC. All these are the reasons why we started the struggle, and we are going to fight until we get to Kinshasa. We have come to Goma to stay. We are not going to withdraw, but we are going to move forward from Goma, Bukavu, Kisangani, Bunia, Lubumbashi, Kananga, Mbujimayi, up to Kinshasa, and then to start Congo development.
The question is now, it says that they are going to take all back Congo and save it from these people who don't care about the people, who are just there for their personal gain, like the president of Congo, as this guy says. And he regrets, supporting him, and he says, I put him there, but you need to remove him. But the question is, will it be possible? And well, after these guys surrendered, after the military, the MONUSCO, the mercenaries, after all these people surrendered, they left a whole lot of weapons for the M23 group, including a Sukhoi aircraft, which is a very known Russian aircraft. It's very sophisticated and can also fly for a very long period of time. It's more sophisticated than another known Russian plane called MiG. I don't know if the rest of Congolese want that, but I hope the civilians will be safe. We saw our very own Julius Malema from South Africa saying this, and this is something that has been hidden. And now Malema is saying that our children, our sons and daughters, have been sent to die because of the mineral interest of multinational corporations, and individuals must be secured. Listen to this.
Yet in a conflict we do not understand and send our soldiers to fight rebels who are more equipped than us. We are being humiliated in DRC and threatened with war by President of Rwanda because our role of peace in the DRC is questionable, because there is no peace that has ever been achieved through the deployment of soldiers. The South African National Defence Force is not in DRC to pursue peace, but we are participating in the decade-old conflict to secure the mineral interests of the capital elite in the Congo. Our soldiers must withdraw from the DRC, not only because they have not been given the necessary equipment to pursue the so-called peace they are there for, but because the motivation to send our forces to the DRC are dishonest. Our children, our sons and daughters of the South African National Defence Force have been sent to their death because the mineral interests of multinational corporations and individuals must be secured. Our soldiers have been sent to be glorified bodyguards of the mines in the DRC, and this mission has been disguised as a pursuit of peace and a defense of democracy. Bring our soldiers home, because our army should not be a pawn in a game of capitalists which has now exposed the weakness of our military capacity.
Finally, I want you to see this video of the spokesman of M23 in Goma as he talks with journalists. I mean, we could not have seen this before, but now we're seeing him laughing. This is his nature. Someone who makes jokes and laughs with you is a friend, and that's why the people of Eastern Congo are realizing these are our friends and they are not enemies. Finally, it's a very, very funny video of the Minister of Defense of Congo. His name is Kai Kabombo Mujamvita, and he decided to make a speech. People revealed that he had copied a very renowned Netflix documentary series called Le Guerre Selon Churchill, which is translates to Churchill's War, and it's a 2024 documentary series about Winston Churchill's role in World War II.
Vous vous demandez quelle est notre politique. Je vais le dire ici. C'est faire la guerre par mer, par terre et par air, de toutes nos forces et avec toute la force que Dieu peut nous donner, de faire la guerre contre la terre.
Vous vous demandez quelle est notre politique? Je dis que c'est faire la guerre par la mer, sur terre et dans les airs avec toute notre puissance et avec toute la force que Dieu pourra nous donner. Notre politique, c'est faire la guerre contre une monstrueuse tyrannie, jusqu'alors inégalée dans le sombre et lamentable catalogue